it's Wonder Woman Day. What's going on? Wow. Now we can make it a Z Morning Zoo, which is what I
Wonder
really
Woman does deserve this type of, introduction.
Yeah.
We're on, yes.
All right, cool. Hey, let's talk about this.
Let's pay attention.
Wonder
okay?
Woman.
All right, so NBC passed on Wonder Woman TV series.
I know, they rejected the pilot. The pilot was shot and completed, and they and David E. Kelly's people, who David E. Kelly from Ally McBeal and several different law shows, presented it to NBC for their upfronts, and NBC said, we don't like it.
Did the pilot air?
No, it did not air.
No. So only NBC.
They basically, what happens is they shoot a pilot, they get the money to shoot a pilot, they show it to all their executives, they show it to a bunch of test audiences, and if the executives don't like it, the test audiences don't like it, they scrap it. But if the executives love it and the test audiences don't like it, they go back from day one and they reshoot stuff.
The entire thing.
I'm curious, I mean, did people really not see this coming? Or did the execs or the people who was trying to push this thing, did they not see this coming? Because as soon as she was announced and they started showing the costume and everything, everybody was like, no. From the casting choice to the costume choice, and they're saying, we don't like the outfit, she looks like a stripper, and why does she look like a warrior? And then they started explaining the plot, and she was going to be a college student. And
yeah, it was basically Ally McBeal with superpowers. That was the problem.
Do you think that had it been a different
actress?
Yeah,
I don't think the actress had much to do with it. I think it's the wrong time and place for a superhero show. The studios are pushing for stuff like that because superhero genres are one of the highest grossing genres in box office today. So a lot of people are going to be pushing for stuff like that. But if you look at something like Smallville just came to an end this week, or is coming to an end this week, they've tried really hard, and they barely made on to the next season for about 10 years. They're just finishing off their 10th season, and they barely made it. A show that barely makes it is not going to be a show that a network's going to want to put hundreds of thousands of dollars behind.
Who would you have cast instead of
Instead of her? There's so many people. I mean, people have been talking about a Wonder Woman series forever. Joss Whedon wrote a Wonder Woman script about 6 years ago.
Who would he have made a better person to...
Probably because he lives in that world. Joss Whedon is a comic book nerd. He lives in that world. He knows the game. David E. Kelly, probably not so much. David E. Kelly knows how to write for TV. He knows Boston Legal was a great show. He might not know the comic book world, and that's a world that you have to cater to when making something like Wonder Woman, who's a timeless classic character.
But even still, Joss Whedon he wrote Firefly, which sadly was canceled, but it still has a crazy following.
Absolutely.
And he also did Dollhouse, right?
He did Dollhouse as well.
Which
didn't last as long, but had a huge following.
Exactly. Which is interesting. It's amazing how these things work.
It got on the air.
Do you think had Joss Whedon been the one to bring back Wonder Woman and maybe someone other than Adrian
Palicki? Possibly. I think it would have served itself better as a movie rather than a TV show. It's difficult to do something like that. The reason why Smallville worked was because it was the story of Clark Kent becoming Superman. You can't do a story of Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman because it's not going to work. You're gonna have to take cuts and
back to the Amazon days.
Exactly. It's too expensive of a show to make and do justice to. My question is, where do you go from here? If the show isn't going to work, does that mean a Wonder Woman is going to be up on the shelf? No one's going to touch Wonder Woman for years?
I believe it could be pushed to cable networks. We could see it on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
If Sci-Fi sees the pilot, they like, or maybe they just won't shop it around anymore.
Right.
They could just give up altogether. Because
we know Comic-Con is coming up, and the pilot's going to be all over the place by Comic-Con. Now, the next question is, Netflix has also been looking into revitalizing canceled shows and making their own production company. Is it possible for Netflix to take a show like this and stream it straight to Netflix and not just completely circumvent all of the networks? They're doing that with Friday Night Lights, which Adrian Palicki comes from.
Well, and I would say Friday Night Lights is still on. I have it recording on my DVR at home.
See? Point proved.
Honestly, if this were on Netflix, I wouldn't enjoy it, but I would watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to if the community would watch it.
I would say that there's a huge population of people that watch Netflix versus watching anything on TV now.
Video on demand.
Yeah, video on demand. I know a lot of shows that I've recently started picking up in general I've found on Netflix and just watched all the back seasons of it. So I could totally see this
Now I'll ask both of you, are you guys a fan of Wonder Woman as a character?
I liked Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. When I think of Wonder Woman,
the hot pants.
I think of Linda Carter. For me, I don't see anyone being able to live up to the role the way she did, and especially when I think of actresses now. I mean, when they had the people that they wanted to put into this role, it was just nobody
yeah,
really was like, oh my God, this is who I see
with this generation
doing this.
of actresses. Possibly not. I mean, the best Wonder Woman is probably too old to be Wonder Woman, and that's probably Lucy Liu. And they did Wonder Woman.
Lucy
called
Lawless.
Xena. Lucy Lawless. Sorry,
Lucy Liu would be
that would be amazing, actually.
From a totally different part of the Amazon. The really east part of the Amazon.
Far East.
The far east part of the Amazon.
Well,
there's other characters that are also being looked into for comic book TV series. They're also talking about doing a Hulk TV show. Do you think that'll last? Or do you think now this has put a bad taste in executives' mouths? They don't want to do a Hulk TV show now.
I think they should start thinking a lot farther outside of the box. I mean, we get it. DC is awesome. I think DC works a lot better with feature films, as we're seeing. They're coming out with a lot more features. They're getting a lot. The universe is too big for television to hold. It worked with Smallville, but Smallville has a history, and now it's leaving. We'll see.
We will see.
And as far as Wonder Woman, will it get picked up again? Sorry, Adriana.
Probably not with you.
But probably not with you.
Yeah, probably not.
All right.